rolling. Let's move away from productivity and into something that actually reveals how you think. Humans love tracking habits, then somehow forget to inspect the machinery producing those habits. The person I'm quietly becoming. The person I'm quietly becoming. Okay, bet. I bet. What traits have become more noticeable in me over the past month? What traits? Okay, let's do this. Oh, shit. Alright, habitual log number 7. Today, I'd like to focus more in terms of how I've been working. I've been moving so much throughout the past weeks, starting July, and I haven't really been looking back. And sometimes that can be a really big problem when tracking back into the things that you've been wanting to do. Like some of your, the mic can pick you up, gang. Hold on. How are you still on speaker? What the hell? Speaker. There. Let's put you there for now. Hell yeah. Okay, let's do this. Where's my phone? The person I'm quietly becoming. Okay, thank you. Okay. Welcome to Habitual Log number 7. In today's reflection, I'd like to focus more in terms of self-reflection. Looking back in terms of what I've worked on and seeing if I'm still aligned with my goals. Starting with the traits that have come to be noticeable starting early weeks of June. Currently, if we look back towards the projects that I've done, I've been cramming a bunch of projects. Currently, as of today, July 10th of 2026, I've been cramming 4 projects. The DYSA radio documentary project, which requires a documentary video of about 5 minutes and a radio spill of all the participants, which are the alumni of the DYSA radio station, which was established in San Agustin at around 1960s, 1970s. This event was supposed to help commemorate their radio station, how it was thriving the current students of the University of San Agustin way back in the 1970s, and where they are right now. It's basically like a college reunion for those bunch. And currently where I'm at right now is I'm just finishing up the radio documentary. I just have to look for the interview segments of what's relevant, and then I have to put them into the documentary and then add the ending, and then I'm done. There's also the radio spills. I just have to rename the files. Locate the radio spills, organize their audio sequence, rename the files, and then send it to Ma'am Tekia, which is the creative director for this current project. Hopefully it's all done by this morning so that there's less to no revisions by the afternoon. Hopefully we don't get told off if we did anything wrong, because there is barely any time to work with regards to this project. It's barely crammed. I've worked for a total of 6 hours straight with regards to this project, and hopefully the outcome would be quite nice to a point where we could get leads in terms of our future projects and creations with regards to the connections that we've built with those radio alumni. If they like our work, maybe they can invite us to some of their projects along the way too, which could get more leads and more pay. There's a second project that I've been working on is the Agrarian Reform Film Festival, which the project which forced us to film a documentary about one of the agrarian reforms chosen honorary person to try and promote their organization. The way they try to market this is to try and create a documentary about a given honorarium's person's life to try and promote a lifestyle that which benefits or increases the likelihood or the chances of the agrarian reforms criteria. Like, it increases the chances of them finding the right person. It increases the chances of them finding the right person to give the land to. I think the point of the film festival for them is to increase marketing and to increase the possibility of choosing the right person. Because for the most part, sometimes they tend to choose the wrong person. And it would very much show, it would come to be very visible when interviewing that given person in and of itself. Because the agrarian reform has a given criteria to the type of people that they want to give their honorary land to. It's supposed to be someone who's hardworking and who's been through a lot of hardships to get them to where they are. Someone who's worthy of having to own their own land as a farmer. And I think the point of the film is to have that, to establish a stronger target audience and to overall promote their mission, which is to give land to those who deserve it and are those in need. As of right now, I've finished the entire timeline from scene 1 to scene 9, and we're currently in the process of refining the sequence and pacing, given that our music compositors could give them to us within this or next week. It could take a day or two to polish the sequence, given that I'm editing it with the head director of the film. But if it's not, it's fine. It could take days or more. But yeah, we're just waiting up on the music compositors, and that film is done. It's just a matter of color grading, texturing, and adding sound effects, polishing up a few minor, inconsistencies, and we should be good. So everything's good there. It's due 20 to 22, but the initial soft due date is July 10, which is today. But I think we're there. Anyway, I met the deadline. We're just waiting up on the music, and then it should be ready by 20 to 22. But the primary focus as of right now is the radio documentary, because the DYSA is due like tomorrow afternoon, where the event is gonna start. It's very cramming. Anyways, the third project is the educational promotional video, where I'm assigned to promote a program in the University of San Agustin. I have to work with a chosen creative director, which is like a classmate of mine from BA Communications. Because although I can handle all of the tasks with the technicalities, I'm not much for overall management and communications, visually leading people to coordinate each other, to act in the way that they need to have a scene that you've pictured to promote the program. I'm not well versed in envisioning something that's logistically stern, but also visually well written. Like a good balance of both would be nice. And currently, I'm all for technicalities. I've gained more experience in technicalities than overall visual management. Luckily, I have someone to rely on for that, and someone to communicate everything and, have the eye to see what's missing in terms of seeing the overall project being built. So I'll handle everything that's on the technical end of things, and I have another person to oversee what's happening with the actual video, what the client wants, and what needs to be done. I am the clog of the mechanics, and they are the direction and the map. So far, that's the main worry of mine right now, because it should have been due 2 days before, when the Class A orientation was happening, which is a program branch of the University of San Agustin. There's 5, but I am currently residing in the Class A, the College of Liberal Arts, Science, and Education. And education is the program that we are promoting. It was supposed to show on the Class A orientation, but we never had the chance to, because it's still a very rough draft. There's still a lot of polishing that needs to be done, but as of right now, I still need to focus on the radio documentary because it is due tomorrow. While the Class A orientation has already passed, there's still a bunch of polishing that still needs to be done. Hopefully, the target date for this to be finished is somewhere around this week, hopefully by Monday, given that I'm able to finish the radio documentary by tonight, or tomorrow morning, which is later on tonight. I'm probably gonna stay up all night tonight. Anyways, that's overall what's been happening for the first week of July. It's very crammy. In terms of trying to land new clients, there hasn't really been much. Though overall, I think we can earn a lot more coming this July by hopefully making a big impact in the DYSA content promotion. Hopefully, if we do better on the educational promotional video, if we get to polish it right, we can get more leads there too. If we can get a good remark from the education dean, that would help lots when getting an opportunity from the overall Clase department. If we can do good in the education program promotional video, we can get a gig for the Clase promotional video. Hopefully, we can do that if we can leave a good remark from the edu promo video. Same thing with the DYSA. If we can have a good mark on the DYSA video, we can have a lot of gigs connecting from the alumni members because they have a lot of jobs, they have a lot of projects that I'm sure they need help with regards to video editing. It's just a matter of them contacting us. And you know what we need to give in order for them to do that? That's right, a website. And that was supposed to be completed in June with the help of AI. The main goal is to have something out there by June, even if it's done with AI. We can polish it later with Framer, but I can't seem to get the right prompt. I've been trying to filter it out with Perplexity, Gemini, Claude, and ChatGPT. I can't get it right. God damn it. I need a portfolio before DYSA comes out, before the educational promo video comes out, because if I don't have any, all I'm able to give is a resume or I guess my email. I don't know. I don't have a portfolio that I can properly give to the clientele. These projects are attached with leads, and with leads come with hooks, and I have no worms to attach to my hooks. I'm going fishing without a bait. I was supposed to have my bait built by June. I hate how the deadlines are not deadlining. This is like the main problem that I've had with June. I've been trying to set deadlines for myself, but having built the reverse obituary with Claude, I've realized that I can only function properly when someone has set a deadline for me. I can only work properly. I can only work efficiently. I can only go as passionate as the person who I'm working with. So if I'm working with a very passionate person, I'll be matching their energy. But for some reason, if I work on my own, there is no passion at all to set a deadline to a point where I can achieve things within a current given time span. So say if I assign something starting June, like build a portfolio and have it end by the end of June, you'd think to expect that I am gonna be building a portfolio all throughout June, along with everything I've been working with throughout the projects I've been building. But for some reason, you will see me by the end of June barely having finished a portfolio at all. It's an unfinished product. I should be very mad right now, but it's me I'm dealing with. So there is no point of uncertainty or stress that I should be feeling because it's me. Like, how do you become mad at yourself when you're at the fault? Like, oh, I failed this deadline. Oh well, we can move it to the next. But that shouldn't be the case. That shouldn't be the standard. But the problem is, when I reviewed my self-obituary, my reverse obituary, that was the case. Like, although composure was the height of my values, the standard for achieving projects towards the urgency that it has is very low. How can I set goals for myself when the current goals that I have right now keeps getting moved to the next day? While although it is nice to have the trait of never giving up, it's quite unrealistic to think that I'll achieve lots when everything I've been building keeps moving to the next day and the next day on after that. It compounds to a way where it self destructs. If I don't finish the portfolio by the end of this week, I'll probably never touch it until 7 months later again. And I don't want to have that same situation ever. So, having built a reverse obituary, I've come to notice this, and I've come to set a higher urgency in terms of deadlines. I try to be more stressful when meeting deadlines of my own accord. I'm trying to increase my standard with regards to deadlines and being more strict with my own projects in the same way that I would with someone else's. I'm trying to match their passion. I'm trying to match my passion with theirs. I'm trying to absorb their level of urgency and trying to make it my own, so that maybe in the future when I try to review my reverse obituary again, I don't ever have to see that flaw ever again. Because the way I am moving right now, I will never get to be where I want to be if the urgency I have was never there to begin with. It's like saying that you're gonna do something, but when you get home, you never actually do the thing that you're doing. I don't want to be that person. So, moving on to July, I've been trying to be more efficient. I've been trying to stick to deadlines, and I've been consuming principles that would help in terms of conserving my energies in days that I'm in where I notice that I'm tired, and absorbing principles that would help me be motivated throughout the days that would usually have me pictured tired and unmotivated to begin with. And having noticed those traits throughout the first weeks of July, I think I've majored quite progressively well. Not to mention the fact that I've been doing more habitual logs more often, such to a point that we've gotten to the 6th and 7th. We're getting more traction, and I've noticed a major change in terms of how I interact with others. Conversations that usually don't hold out for long last for longer thanks to the habitual logs. I'm able to drag out the way I talk to a point where I can carry out conversations. I never run out of topics now because I'm able to just think up of bullet points on the fly like I have right now. Although, as of right now, I'm still relying on ChatGPT prompts in regards to the topics because I'm usually preoccupied with whatever projects I have right now, with the 3 projects that I have that's due tomorrow, in the 20th, and in Monday. You know, I can't think of a new topic to speak of right now because I'm just having a lot of projects in mind. Like, all the technicalities are still stuck in my head, but how can I think of something new when all of these are just in my head, you know? It takes up a lot of RAM, is basically what I'm saying. I'm not ashamed to use AI to think up of a new prompt to speak with because I'd rather retain what's in the technicalities of my head right now for the future work purposes of what I'm gonna work on tonight, rather than lose the aspects of those technicalities to think up of something new. It's a sacrifice I'm willing to take. Is basically what I'm saying. And yes, I'm more clarified now in terms of what it is that I'm doing. The reverse obituary has helped a lot in terms of progressing my clarity and my actions towards the purpose that I'm trying to achieve. My intentions have been more sharper, and my goals have never been more active and linear. My habits have been increasingly changing, and my usual introverted energy have been shifting to a point where it can adapt to an external form of interaction. I feel as though I can be more extroverted given that I can just flick the switch as if I would right now. And if we look back from the months before, like June or May, I've never been like that. I've never filmed a habitual log 3 days straight in a row. I've never approached someone before with such confidence, knowing that I can handle whatever words they may be saying next. I've never had the curiosity to actually approach a person in knowing that they'll be engaged with the things that I'm saying. I never had that confidence, I guess, is what I'm saying. The habitual logs have helped a lot in terms of building that character for me. So, yeah, that's one trait that I've noticed to be a major change for the first coming weeks of July. Hopefully, there's more, you know, other than the finances, of course. The personal growth have been changing steadily. Hopefully, we can do the same for our family and our external tasks. With school coming up, hopefully, I can balance everything with studying on the line. You know, if you have work and technicalities on the left side of your brain, hopefully, you have intake and studying on your right side, you know? Because how can you study while still remaining the stress of trying to achieve a project at the same time? I guess we'll just find out when we get there. Because we've never truly been there before, at least not to the extent where we're trying. Because for the most part, from what I can remember from last year, I've just been living it for the sake of understanding that this is just how it is. You know, I just like, okay, hopefully I survive type of situation. It's not like okay, this is happening. It's not like the same situation as before where I'm just like, will I survive? It's more of like, oh, can I do this better than I did last time? You know, it's more of like questioning whether you're gonna do better than you did before because you've experienced it already, right? So like, okay, having known this, can you do that instead of that? Like you've learned, you've had past experiences of the given problem, and you've had a year to experience it. Like you've had a semester to see your wrongdoings. You know, it's as though last year was just an experimentation. You've made the mistake on purpose so that the current year right now can learn what it's like to have that mistake and use that as a fuel or a source of motivation or a form of clarity to try and backtrack in a way that helps you move forward in your future. Oh my god, I've been filming for a good 24 minutes on one point. I guess that's it for now. There's like there's a lot of points that I can talk about, like a subtle shift in perspective, but wow, I've been yapping for 30 minutes. Anyways, that's it for now. I'm low battery. I don't want to lose my progress. Goodbye.